All right, water break. All right. So on this next video, welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to another video. Today, we're going to talk about Model 3 inventory. We just, talked about the Model 3 standard range if it's a good deal, but it seems like the inventory is starting to decrease a little bit. So the question is this Model 3 lease that they've been promoting, is it actually pushing people to buy it? And so we'll take a look at the inventory that's out there. We'll see, from the charts, and we'll talk about, is that lease a good deal? And kind of is for certain people, but we will talk about it, that's for sure. So if you're just joining in, my name is Dennis. I love talking about Tesla hacking, as I like to call it, but basically just getting the best deal on a Tesla at the best possible price, or just getting really good financing on your Tesla. So if you're interested in any of that, please hit that subscribe. And today's video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link down below in the description if you want to support the channel, but more on that later. All right, so let's take a look at this. The Model 3, they've, as of 2 to 3 days ago, they started advertising this leasing starting at $399 a month. And before that, it was a $499 a month lease. Then it went to $465 a month. And then now it is $399 a month. We can confirm the details if we want by going to the leasing section. You can see $4,500 down payment, 36 months, 10,000 miles. Of course, this does not factor any taxes, tags, and fees at $399 a month. And the cool thing with this is, we were able to find the interest rate on this, and that's where the savings actually came from. They were able to reduce the interest rate on this lease down to 3.23%, which is not a bad interest rate, especially when you compare it to a loan at 5.34%. And so the question is, are people starting to lease these? Let's see if we can switch it to a Model 3 Performance, because of course you can't switch it to, well, actually you can, right? If we go to waitingfortesla.com, I wanted to see what a Model 3 long range lease might potentially look like. Let's see if we can take a look, see if it's, actually, okay, that seems like a pretty decent lease, $573 a month. I mean, I would love to see if it was like $499 a month, but one can only assume that this is the same interest rate and same build for that. So, I mean, the question is this advertisement of this $399 lease, is it starting to push inventory and sales? And so if we take a look at the Model 3 inventory levels, something's going on, because inventory is starting to creep down slowly, down and down and down. So someone's buying it, whether it's maybe people taking advantage of the $399 lease, or maybe the $573 lease on a Model 3 long range in New Jersey or other states that favor a Tesla lease. But something is starting to happen, that's for sure. Or maybe it's just all these vehicles were long ranges before, people started buying them, and then now people are starting to realize that, the tax credit might be going away in March, and it certainly is going to go away for sure. Well, not certainly, but 99% sure it's going to go away from the Model 3 standard range because of how the tax credit is actually written. So if you look at, this is an article from Edmunds that breaks down the tax credit. If you've been watching the channel, I reference this a lot, but the $7,500 tax credit is broken into two parts. $3,750 and $3,750. The first $3,750 is where the critical battery minerals come from, and basically it has to be sourced from the US or free trade agreement areas, basically not China, and that's where you get the $3,750. The second part of it is the battery components, the manufacturing of it. If it's assembled or manufactured and assembled in the US, then you'll also get $3,750. And so the rumor for a while was that the Model Y and the Model 3 would only get just half of the $3,750, but it seems like the Model 3 standard range is, because of that LFP chemistry, basically all coming from China. It might even get zero of the whole thing, since the Model 3 standard range seems to be produced in China. But fact check me if I'm wrong on that. But someone is buying inventory, or someone is buying the Model 3, and so inventory levels are going down. So the question is this Tesla lease working? Did you see the lease and are you excited about and looking to buy? Or is it just something else where people are they pumping just more Model 3 long range out there, and that, people are more aware about buying that instead of a Model 3 standard range? I think, the Model 3 long range is a good deal, but the Model 3 standard range could probably leave some room to, discount some more. But so if my speculation hat, if I were to go on up, because the Model 3 standard range only got a $3,000 discount during these recent price discounts, discounts, and the Model 3 long range and the Model 3 performance both got, massive price discounts relative to the Model 3 standard range in January 13th at this point. So I would say the Model 3 standard range could potentially, come down a few more thousand at this point. Maybe we'll see it in February, when maybe we'll see it in March, but we can't predict it at this point. So let me know your thoughts on it. Do you think people are leasing more, or do you think they're buying more, or is it just, people are just buying the Model 3 long range and all this standard range inventory is just sitting basically stale at this point? So we're going to jump in some of the comments and some of the questions, but this video is actually sponsored by my Patreon link. Down below in the description is a Patreon where you can support the channel, but more on that later. All right, so let's take Ridwan. Can you take a look at the used long-range Model 3 market? That would be another video. I think we'll take a look at used. JR, when should I start the financing problem since it's coming soon? I would say start now, especially because some credit unions can take anywhere from 1 week to 2 weeks. You should definitely start ASAP. About to put the deposit out on a Model Y performance. Any reason I should wait? If you don't qualify for the tax credit, then go for it. Just go for the Model Y performance. Great deal at 56,990. As we saw with Tesla raising the price of the Model Y long range by $500, I can easily see them starting to creep up across the Model Y and the Model Y performance, raising prices. Shireen, I heard it. Got my Model Y yesterday. Not driving it until I bring it in for PPF and ceramic. Nice. Congrats. I hope everything went well at the delivery appointment and your Tesla is in good condition. Guido, any news about the petition? Let's check on that really quick. Hopefully we'll hear something this week. I mean, it's going to be during the week or during the business week, but I think the last time I checked on it, we got past 6,000 signatures on it. So shout out to everybody that's supporting the petition. A couple of news publications reached out to talk about it. And so, I want to see Tesla give something to everybody that paid a higher price last year. That's for sure. Suresh, what's the difference between 2022 and 2023 Model Y long range? Seems like suspension and the sensors. 2022 has the USS sensors, the parking sensors. 2023 has the better suspension, comfort suspension, but both probably have a decent suspension. JR, I didn't know the performance didn't qualify for the tax credit. Oops, there we go. You just saved what, a buttload of money or a big mistake. That's for sure. So thanks for joining in. Thanks for reporting back on that. I got 6.6%. What are my options? Lots of options. I've made tons of videos about financing. Check them out. But if you don't want to do that and you don't want to save some time, or if you want to save some time, check out my Patreon link down below in the description. Oh my God, that's high. Yeah, rates are going up. And the Fed is supposed to raise interest rates this next week or next coming week. So it could even go higher. That's for sure. That is high. How long is the loan term? I think Tesla, you can go 5.34% all the way to 72 months. How much would PPF run? A great question, actually. PPF, I recommend paying anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000, but there you go. Shireen coming in and, Shireen, sorry if I'm messing that up. Shireen coming in and dropping some knowledge. That's exactly what I would pay for PPF. That's for sure. All right, water break. Stretch break as well. Thanks for everybody for joining in on this chill Sunday stream. Let's see what else.